book, Sita Ramadakava, there were 2 or 3 chapters that narrated entire Ramayana. Otherwise, Ramayana itself will take months and months to narrate. So just few verses, just within 102 verses, whole Ramayana is explained here. So the goal was to primarily focus on the bhakti, not so much on how the war happened between Ravana and of course Lord Ramchandra. So today's verse is 26. So before we proceed, let's invite auspiciousness. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 22, verse number 26. And we'll also cover verse number 27, 28. So 3 verses. They don't have purport. So, but when we recall the names and associated with Mahabharata, so we can, narrate in depth about, reasonably depth about each of those characters that appear here. Gandhariyam Dhritarashtrasya Gandhariyam Dhritarashtrasya Jajni Putra Satam Nirpa Jajni Putra Satam Nirpa Tatra Duryodhana So Jesrasto Tatra Duryodhano Jesasto Dushalaha Chapi Kanyaka Dushalaha Chapi Kanyaka Gandhariyam Dhritarashtrasya Jajni Putra Satam Nirpa Tatra Duryodhano Jesasto Dushala Chapi Kanyaka Gandhariyam Dhritarashtrasya Jajni Putra Satam Nirpa Tatra Duryodhano Jesasto Dushala Chapi Kanyaka. Tatra Duryodhano Jesasto Dushala Chapi Kanyaka. Gandhariyam Dhritarashtrasya Jajni Putra Satam Nirpa Tatra Duryodhano Jesasto Dushala Chapi Kanyaka So translation, word to word translation and word to word conversion, then translation. Srila Prabhupada ki. Gandhariyam. In the womb of Gandhari. Dhartarashtrasya. Of Dhartarashtra. Yajne. Were born. Putra Satam. 100 sons. Nripa. O King Parikshit. Tatra. Among the sons. Duryodhanaha. The son named Duryodhana. Jesvastaha. The eldest. Doshala. Doshala. Cha api. Also. Kanyaka. One daughter. Translation. Dhritarashtra's wife, Gandhari, gave birth to 100 sons and one daughter. O king, the oldest of sons was Duryodhana, and the daughter name was Doshala. So there is no purport. So we will read the second one also, then discuss that. Okay, so next verse number 27, 28. I will just read translation in English. Pandu was restrained from sexual life because of having been cursed by a sage. And therefore, his 3 sons, Yudhishthira, Bhima and Arjuna, were begotten through the womb of his wife, Kunti, by Dharmaraj, by the demigod controlling the wind, and by the demigod controlling the rain. Pandu's second wife, Madri, gave birth to Nakula and Sahadev, who were begotten by the 2 Aswini Kumaras. The 5 brothers headed by Yudhishthira begot 5 sons through the womb of Draupadi. These 5 sons were your uncles. Om Ajnanatribindasya Jnananjala Shalakaya Chaksurmilatamena Tasme Sri Guruve Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishnapadaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswadevi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachata Desha Tarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavanda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So these, the verse number 26 and then 27, 28, which are combined. So these are in some form the repeating patterns of what happened earlier and how Dhritarashtra and of course Pandu. We assume by default that a husband and wife, a man and woman who are formally married, and so their union will produce the next generation. So that is the default proposition in the marriage. But here we see, something different happening. So for various reasons. So in the previous verse, in the context, and of course starting with just the previous one, where it mentions. So Bhadrayana Sri Vasudev. So he followed the order of his mother Satyavati. And what did he do? So he was asked to beget sons in the womb of his brother's wife. Why? So he is the heir apparent, the son of Shantanu. So died without producing children. So therefore, they have to find a solution. The solution was in the previous yugas, it was allowed to beget sons in the womb of a woman by the husband's brother. So here Vasudeva happens to be brother of because Vasudeva was born to Satyavati through union with Parasarmani. So there is another story. But anyway, coming shorter, so as a result of the union of between Vasudeva and Ambika, so we have birth of Dhritarashtra. Then by the union of Vasudeva and Ambalika, so we have birth of Pandu. And also union of Vasudeva and a maid servant, so Vidura. So we have 3 personalities are born. So that was already discussed. And then the kings, so they need all the successor because the kingdom can be continued. The next successor can be produced by created through this process, and then they can take over the kingdom. So this way, the rules and regulation and order can be maintained in the kingdom. Of course, nowadays we don't have that system. Nowadays, the potency of the leaders is only 3 year, 2 year, maximum 5 year. Correct? In Australia, we elect a leader. If the leader term is ending, so many people will say, I am the best person born to a certain family and carrying lineage from the political knowledge, or maybe I am the best ruler. Like that people promise, then of course we elect democracy. But earlier it was not democracy, it was a kingship that was coming, a royal order. And so that times have changed. So therefore, even the Manu Smriti says, or in the purport, Prabhupada mentioned in the previous purport, that in the previous ages it was allowed, but not in Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga, we don't follow that method. So if someone is not potent, you can ask brother to conceive. That is not allowed. Whereas in the other yugas, it was allowed as per Manusruti and others. Okay, that is called Niyoga process of creating progeny. So now with the appearance of Dhritarashtra, Pandu and Vidura, so that was discussed in the previous verse. Now the today's verse 26. Gandharyam Dhritarashtrasya. Gandharyam. Gandharyam. So that is Gandharyam. So that is womb of Gandhari. Of course, now knowing more about Gandhari is also important. So who is this Gandhari? So Gandhari obviously is the daughter of King Gandhara. In the earlier, so if father name is Rajkumar, then the daughter will be Rajkumari, like that, for example. Duja, Duji, like that. So I don't think Duja is going to produce a kids. So he will be, I'm hoping that he will be continuous sannyasa, and as we progress, maybe in 10, 20 years, he will be one of the wandering sannyasi across the world. So that is the hope, of course, you never know. But anyway, so here, Gandhari. So she is a daughter of Gandhara king. And where is this kingdom Gandhara? So this kingdom in the earlier we used to have whole Bharatavarsha. The King India was a big land, unlike now. So this area of between Afghanistan and today Pakistan, that intersection point was the Gandhara. Okay, so that area was known at that time. So she and her father was ruling that area. So Gandhari born to the king. And so usually these princesses, the daughters of king, so they are devoted. So they are not proud like today. In today you see in all the daughters and sons of various kings, what are they doing? So they themselves are doing some business, sometime they'll become model, this model, that way they can earn so more money. And they use that money, some of them, those who are a bit more in mode of goodness, so they tend to open up some charity and promote goodness, well-being of women, well-being of children, and so on. So those are the best one. And others maybe engage in tamoguna also. And if you look at the newspapers, you will see some of the those who are born to Queen Elizabeth, who is no more, but her sons, some of them are in the news for tamagun and facing so much a problem that they even lost the official title of prince. If you are born, so a king or a queen have many, many children, many girls, many boys. There are potential successors. So initially they will be called as a princess and a prince, and they're the title that gives them a lot of protection. But losing just the title itself will be danger. But why do you lose? Because of tamagun activities. So therefore it is important to maintain the quality. So now coming to Gandhari. Gandhari princess, she is also having very good quality. And obviously they are dedicated, and then they develop divine qualities. How do you develop divine qualities? One, through connecting with divinity or divine personalities, performing worship Krishna, worship of Shiva, worship of other demigods, at least to some extent, mode of goodness. So otherwise they will get into tamagun or rajogun, at least higher is mode of goodness. So she was a worshipper of Lord Shiva. So, of course, some worship Lord Shiva in order to get Shiva as a husband, just like Parvati did, Sati did. But here in this case, Gandhari worshipped and then out of reverence, so Shiva was obviously pleased. Shiva is called as Asutosh. Among all the devatas, Shiva is the most easy to please. So we have many kshetras, jyotirlingas, so where people flock to take darshan of Shiva and then pray to Shiva. Some pray out of bhakti, devotion. They may not expecting anything from Shiva, just out of bhakti. So just like our Bharat Bhanu, so once he did a yatra of Maharashtra, and he visited 5 jyotirlingas, various places. Some places you have to go inside like a ground and take darshan and come out. So I hope our Bharat Bhanu remember how we did it. So it was so much of rest, just a small hole. In Maharashtra, you go inside the small hole, and inside you have a beautiful Shiva, take it darshan. Not in the darshan, some of them will also perform abhishek. With so much of rush, everybody is moving around, and you should be really strong enough to survive. Otherwise, you will be finished, khichdi. Just like they make khichdi, inside they mix rice, vegetable, everything. And if you want to take out separate dal, separate sabji, not possible. It's already khichdi fight. So there you perform. So abhishek of Lord Shiva. And some may have a desire, okay, let me progress in my bhakti to Krishna. Shiva will say tatastu. Then those who are very lucky, like Bharat Bhanu, they end up sitting there and performing Lord's worship, and that's what he achieved. Correct? Thank you. Of course, I went with him. So as a result, I got a blessing to come and sit down on the Vasasana today. You never know what all will lead to. So Shiva is very kind. So Shiva is Asutosh. So I don't know what all Bharat Bhanu prayed for, but he went with his son, the daughter, and Mataji, and of course our Guru was leading, Vedavasa Priya Maharaj. So we somehow, because they don't allow anyone to go, so what do? We take shelter of our Guru. Oh, we are actually helping our Guru Maharaj to go inside. Then everybody will give us a place to go inside. So you can see, if we take shelter of a Guru, with Guru you can also go. If Guru is able to go with the same body to Vaikuntha Loka, you just hold the Guru's hand and then you go with them also. So that is the potency of having. That's why we emphasize so much about taking shelter of Guru, the serving Guru, either his Vani or the Vapu, his body. So Vani means, of course, we follow his instruction and follow practices that are the vows and the chanting holy name and then performing sevas in his absence. But if he is present and if you happen to there and if you need assistance, you can help the Guru. So just last Saturday, so Dhyamrita Maharaj was giving class here in the same room. So that time, because Guru was here, every disciple was here. But today Guru is not there. It's a small Guru, little Guru. So only few elevated personalities are here. Anyway, so Śrīmad Bhāgavatam hearing doesn't depend upon who is speaking. Even someone who may not be able to speak eloquently. But Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is such a powerful medicine, administered by anyone, will work. And we know sometimes devotees from that hole just open it, will check who is the speaker. Oh, he's Maharaj Dhyamrita. Oh, run inside. So it's powerful. But if it's some other, very less. Anyway, Prabhupada says that doesn't matter who is here, so you must attend. And the speaker, doesn't matter how many are sitting in the audience, still speak. Even if nobody, speak. Prabhupada did it, so he's a role model for us. So he organized a Śrīmad Bhāgavatam class in New York. Every day morning, some devotees come. One day it so happened that nobody came. So Prabhupada didn't stop and go away. So he still did the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam class. Correct? So these are, Prabhupada is giving us instruction. These are Krishna's arrangement that you may have audience, you may not have audience. You still do your seva. So if you have full faith, we have Gauri Thai, Radha Vallabha, Jagannatha, Baladeva, Subhadra is the audience. What more we need? Even the Supreme Lord himself is your audience, then everybody is included automatically. But our mind will say, no. When I am speaking, there will be lots of devotees will be there. It's all our expectation. Or when I am doing kirtan, lots of devotees will be there. Only then I will take that slot. Otherwise, I don't want that slot. And our Vijay Prabhu faces this often because he schedules this kirtan. So we have to influence him so that he will give us a big, nice slot. Yes, Prabhu? So even for Gaurarthi Kirtan also. Okay? But anyway, so as we progress in the bhakti, certainly we will be able to see these Uttama Bhaktas. So we'll be able to see whether anybody is there or not there, still Kirtan they will do happily, joyfully. Anybody there or not, they will give Śrīmad Bhāgavatam happily. And then of course the audience become Uttama Bhaktas. Doesn't matter who is speaking, they will still come. And one Maharaj commented that, oh, we know that you are a neophyte devotee, somehow you had a opportunity today to give Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Doesn't matter, don't worry. You speak at your level and we'll understand at our level. The same instruction is understood at different levels. Even if you go to University of Melbourne, the same person, the speaker. The subject is same, the lecturer is same, professor is same, the students are there. And some students get 100 marks, some students get 1 mark. So that depends on their ability to understand. It is not the ability of the speaker. Speaker can make little difference. What is the difference they can make? They can add some jokes to make you happy, and without sleeping you can listen to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And some may be not telling that much joke. So because of that, sometimes you get bored or you may fall asleep. Little bit. That happens. So therefore, ultimately, the audience potency, the land on which you sow the seed, the same seed is thrown. Some places it fructifies, one seed becomes thousands of grains. Other places, the seed itself will disappear. No outcome. So that happens everywhere. So now coming to here, back to Shiva and Gandhari. So Gandhari did Shiva's seva, worshipped him. So Shiva was very pleased. When the Lord is pleased, whether you ask or don't ask, he will have a blessing. So Lord Shiva, obviously for woman. So what is the greatest achievement of a woman? Usually having a husband, a very prominent husband, and also the sons, many sons. So in this case, Lord Shiva blessed her. Okay, so I am, impressed by your bhakti, unmotivated bhakti. It's not that she wanted something, no. So she did bhakti. So he says he blessed her to have that he will beget, he will produce 100 children. So that was a blessing. So now, so she was also beautiful too. So this news went to where? Hastinapur. Where is Hastinapur? Today's New Delhi, Delhi. So Delhi is over there. Then of course this side is the Pakistan and then Afghanistan. So going to Afghanistan is maybe around 700 kilometers. So Bhishma heard. So of course Bhishma want to make sure that this kingdom, the dynasty will continue. He is already fearful about previous situation. The other brother died without producing children. Now other two are born. So he was not sure what will happen. So they need at least making sure that there is a bahu or a woman who is known to be very fertile. And especially if there is a Lord Shiva's boon with 100 children, is a good one. So therefore, so Bhishma went. Obviously when Bhishma goes there, Bhishma is a very powerful warrior. If he says, I need to take this princess to perform. So they may protest, they may fight. This happened when he brought this Ambalika. So this the previous ones. Also same thing happened. Ambika. He went to Kashi kingdom. There Swami-ra going on. So these three princesses will choose their own husband. And there Bhishma Dev went, powerful warrior. He just snatched these three princesses and Swami-ra left. Other kings, tried to fight, nothing. So in front of Bhishma Dev, that's not possible. Anyway, that news is there, that's very powerful. So same thing now, come to Gandhara kingdom, so that's what happened. So then he told, okay, I'm going to take this Gandhari to get married to one of our brother. So that's how end up bringing her. So now the marriage. So to whom? So the first son of Vichitravira, okay, Vasudeva, one who born to Vasudeva. So that is Dhritarashtra. Now, so she is a beautiful devotee of Lord Shiva, princess. Now she has to marry a blind person. Of course, she cannot refuse the order of father, or of course in the previous life somebody snatched you from the palace. So that means the person is very powerful. So they listen to that person, whatever he says. Either they get married to that person, or the person will say, you need to marry my son or my brother or whoever. He can command. So she happily married Dhritarashtra. But because Dhritarashtra was blind, it seems he didn't know that Dhritarashtra was blind in the beginning. So when later she came to know that Dhritarashtra was blind, so she took a piece of cloth like this and tied to her eyes. So maybe like this. Let's say this is tied fully. Gandhari. So Gandhari. So why? They were very, think about their, suppose if my husband can't enjoy the world through eyes, why should I enjoy? So that's sacrifice, the devotion they express. So that's what devoted woman. So she, that's how she demonstrated her chastity. So now, what about the situation of Dhritarashtra? Was Dhritarashtra king at that time? No. He was not a king. So, although he was the first son. So, she married. So, that's the marriage happened and she demonstrated all those qualities. So now, she was blessed with by Shiva to be able to beget 100 sons. So, obviously now this Dhritarashtra, after marriage, so the union between Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. So the first one says, Gandharyam Dhritarashtrasya. Gandharyam, in the womb of Gandhari, whose progeny? Dhritarashtrasya. Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtrasya. Of Dhritarashtra. So, of Dhritarashtra. So that union. And obviously next verse says, Jajne Putra Satam. Putra, sons. Satam, 100 sons. Century, 100. So then next is Nripa. So Nripa is this King Parikshit Maharaj. So because Sukadeva Goswami is explaining, Parikshit Maharaj, in the womb of Gandhari, Dhritarashtra beget Putra Satam, 100 sons. Now, what actually happened? So, after the union, and then of course Gandhari became pregnant. Usually, we think within 9 months the baby will be delivered. That's the default position. But in this case, that didn't happen. So, it went on for 2 years. No cramp, no sensation of possibility of delivery. Some delivery sensors you take to hospital or a system will help you to deliver. But this is not happening. And meanwhile, what happened? So the Pandu got married too. First, Dhritarashtra married because the custom. If there is an elder brother, first perform elder brother marriage. Then younger one. Not like today. Today, youngers will get married first. Then after everybody is married over, then they will ask, oh, my first elder brother is becoming old, let's perform his marriage. Because their fellow was very busy working hard to make sure that everybody is educated, and they are educated very nicely, and they will find a girl or a boy somewhere, and they get married. Whereas this elder brother, poor fellow, so he is just serving the family, forgotten. But that was not the case earlier. Earlier, first son, first marriage. So then after some months, maybe a year, then they will perform marriage of others. So that's what happened. After 1 year, Pandu get married. And so he also will come to that Pandu. So anyway, so this Gandhari came to know that the Pandu and so Kunti, so they already gave birth to a baby boy. She was expecting, okay, my husband is the first one. Due to blindness, he was not a king. But now Pandu is a king. So, in this case, somehow, if she gives a birth to the first one, maybe likely that her son will become a king. But anyway, so when she heard that Kunti gave birth to a son, and then she was frustrated. Especially, ladies in the same family, they are delivering babies and there will be some kind of frustration. So after frustration, it seems, she was very frustrated and of course little jealousy also will come. Okay, my younger sister-in-law, they are already, have baby and then although I'm pregnant for 2 years and they were just pregnant 1 year, 6 months before, 9 months before, they delivered a baby. So out of frustration, she hit her the stomach. So big stomach, Then what happened? She ended up miscarriage. So that's what we call embryo, miscarriage. So now what to do? So that is where again Vedavasa Muni came. So previously she served Vedavasa Muni very nicely. Just like, I think she has a good quality of serving guests very nicely, or whoever visit the house very nicely. So she served Vedavasa Muni very nicely earlier. So he was very impressed with her, and he also blessed that as for the Shiva's boon, he will definitely get 100 sons. Now situation is different. So immediately Vedavasa Muni, through his divine vision, he can see, he can come immediately. You don't have to command Vedavasa Muni to come and do this. So the same thing happened previously also. So when Satyavati was thinking of what to do about this situation they were facing, so she was thinking that let my son, another son, Vyasa, can beget children. So he came just you think, he appeared. Because he is an incarnation of Lord Krishna. So Vedavasa Muni is not any simple ordinary Muni. So he can foresee. And he is the one who wrote Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. He is the one in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. We got next canto, last one. He describes Kali Yuga, and he can see how the Kali Yuga will be 10,000, 20,000 before only. And we can't even remember 5 minutes before what we did. Sometimes you lose a key or a mobile phone, we're scratching our head. Where did I keep this mobile phone? We try to trace back. Oh, when was the last time I was holding? Then see, in between we miss just few minutes before. And then future we can't see at all what happens. So it is danger. So we don't know what will happen in next minute. That's why Prabhupada said that, this Parikshit Maharaj is very fortunate. He was given at least some time, 7 days. Okay, within 7 days you still have a life and die. Snake will bite and you will die. But whereas ours, we don't know. How long we live, we have no idea. That's why every minute, every second should be utilized in somehow thinking about Krishna, doing some service, always engage in some activities. If you don't have any activities, you can organize the various ornaments of Krishna. So engage in some activity. Or join the party of Dvija Prabhu, and obviously now he will tell you to go and distribute Śrīmad Bhāgavatam book if you can. So some instruction will be given. So in this case, Vyasadeva came and he said, okay, I will do something about it, don't worry. He ordered, okay, bring 100 pots filled with ghee. And so he has that embryo, he has cut into 100 pieces and put one. While putting, suddenly Gandhari asked, oh, I also want one daughter. This was not part of the boon. He said, okay, no problem, don't worry. He cut one into another 2 pieces from one and put into another one. Bring one more part. 101. So, Putra Satyam, 100 children, 100 son, then one more girl, child, baby. Girl. So they put there. So then with his divine vision and his power, he is the author of Ayurveda. So obviously they were able to produce from the pot, from that embryo into real sons. Then the daughter is called Dushala. Of course, there are names are there, other sons. The first one, he says, Tatra Duryodhanasu Jyeshta. Jyeshta is the first son. And first son is named as Duryodhana. And the girl is Kanyaka, is named as Dushala. Dushala Chapi Kanyaka. So, meanwhile, during that period, 2-year period, what did Dhritarashtra do? Dhritarashtra became suspicious. What will happen? Now, she is pregnant, not delivering, we don't know what happened. 1 year over, nothing. 1 year, 2 months over, nothing. Then Dhritarashtra thought, maybe I should produce baby from the womb of some other woman. So with the maid servant, so he had a union and he produced one son called Yutsu. So therefore you can say Dhritarashtra had 101 sons and 1 daughter. And Kunti, this Gandhari, 100 and plus 1 daughter. So of course this Yutsu. So you will see as we progress the qualities of this Kauravas, and in the Kurukshetra war was about to begin. At that time, Yudhishthira announced Anybody, in case if you want to switch the party, most welcome. Before the war signal is given, Shanka, before they do Shanka Nada, so he gives this opportunity. At that time, this Yusu, so he switched from Kaurava party to Pandava parties. And he was the only one who survived from this war. All these Gandhari's sons, were killed in the Kurukshetra war, and only person who saved was this Yusu. So Yusu, of course, right from beginning, it seems, he was always very favorable to Pandavas. Favorable means he doesn't want any evil things to be done for anybody. So good quality. So it is not that he is favoring to Pandava. So that was the one. And here basically we end up having 100 sons, 1 daughter through this incubation in the pot. And that is what these days we called assisted reproductive technology. IVF, in vitro, this and that. There are various, very famous in Melbourne now. Every hospital they have got this assisted reproductive technology. They are trying to take a sperm and a womb donation or some other and then combine together and create an embryo. Now what to do with the embryo? We need a womb. So they are not yet smart enough to, their knowledge is very weak. So therefore they somehow try to inject into the one mother, one lady, or some surrogate. You can even rent also. These days womb can be rented. So the same technology you can see is what there in Dwapara Yuga also. Much better. So now we call test tube babies. But still to grow them, you need a womb. The womb is still a human. Man or a woman. These days I heard that they are also trying to put into man also. So in the womb of a man doesn't have to be a woman. So now the incubation can be in the man or woman. So all this are happening. But anyway, so in the earlier days, it was done successfully demonstrated by Vyasamuni. So 100 sons plus 1 daughter. So that was about Kauravas. And briefly, next was that we read, which is about Pandu. So Pandu was restrained from sexual life because of having been cursed by sage. So what is this curse? Pandu was the king. Even though he was the second son, he was made a king because he was not blind like Dhritarashtra. If Dhritarashtra was having vision, eyes, he would have become obviously a king. But because he was blind, then all this elder, Bhishma, everybody decided that they convinced you are blind, let Pandu become a king. So they made a king. So this was a king. The kings, what do they do? First, their duty is to maintain whatever kingdom they got, the land that is, under their rule, and also expand if possible. And many kings want to expand. They want to expand their supremacy, their strength, their power by attacking or making other small kings to be under their control. So he also expanded. He was also a powerful warrior and expanded his kingdom more and more. And of course, these kings are also want to keep their skills more intact. So every now and then they need to practice. What do? They go for hunting. So every time you don't go and fight, before that you master art of this archery. You keep, like if you want to go for Olympics run, you don't go to Olympics for one day and start running and you will come the last one. So, but before that Olympics game or whichever game, you need to practice constantly, artificially, in real place and practice. Then you go and run in the field, in the competition. So same thing, he wanted to practice some time, so he went for hunting. One day it so happened that he couldn't find any animals to, hit, target. Then he was also became exhausted and sat one place. Then suddenly he saw some one deer, male and female. Then he saw this is an opportunity. He took his bow and arrow and shoot and successfully killed. So those male and female deer, they were actually mating at that time. When he shoot the arrow, killed. At that time, from those deer body emerged two personalities, one male and female. And that was one sage called Kindama. Kindama says, so he wanted to enjoy with wife. Instead of in the human form of body, he decided to change it to animal body. And then in that form he was enjoying. Unfortunately, Pandu didn't know this. Because Pandu is an ordinary person. He didn't have a divine vision to see whether that actually what the real body was. Anyway, you can see the desire for the sense gratification. People with Ashta Siddhi, with all kinds of Siddhi, they can transform themselves into bigger, smaller, handsome, just like what was it says, one who was in the water meditating. So he transformed into a beautiful form also. I forgot his name, but anyway. So here, so they changed it to the deer body and it happened. So they killed. So therefore that says, cursed him. That same thing will happen to you. So when you are uniting with another female or your wife, so you will also die. So this is a curse. And unfortunately, even at that time, he didn't have any babies. So even though he had two wives, Kunti and Madri, but no children yet. But this curse has happened. Now, this is a problem. But anyway, so he decided that if he is in the palace, there is likelihood of meeting with somebody, then the death will come. So he said, renounce this kingship. So he renounced and went to forest. Now who became a king? Dhritarashtra became a king. Dhritarashtra became a king. Then, of course, Gandhari became a queen. Then the Pandu left the palace, and all the good wives will follow the king, follow their husband. Even though they were queens, now the husband is renounced, they also renounce, and they also go to forest. So we here in the cover, we see Lord Ramachandra Sita. Lord Ramachandra, the prince of Ayodhya, and he was about to be made a king. But he was asked to leave and go to Vanavasa. At that time, Sita was a prince. So she married and they almost about to become queen. So she also renounced and then went with Lord Ramachandra. Correct? So this is the nature of the early ages. So I don't know about this Kali Yuga ages. If husband is having trouble, so how many wives are willing to take that? Bit doubtful these days, but earlier days they used to do. So now they also went, and this Pandu knew that this Kunti has some blessing. Now Kunti. So because of that, Kunti has, what was the blessing? So Kunti also received a boon, just like Gandhari received. What was her boon? So once Durvasa Muni, the Durvasa Muni appears in so many places. He is in Ramayana, he was in Satyayuga, and then he is also in Dwapar Yuga. So he also gave boon to Radharani and coming here. So this Durvasa Muni once visited this Kunti Bhoja. Kunti Bhoja was the father of Kunti. So her name came from father only. Kunti Bhoja. Kunti. So this Kunti, when Durvasa Muni visited the palace of Kunti Bhoja, so there she served Durvasa Muni very nicely. And Durvasa Muni is actually incarnation of Lord Shiva. He is also like Asutosh. He can be pleased very quickly, but he can also become angry very quickly. So he has some, he expects, okay, before you, when he arrives, so before he is offered Bhoga, you should not drink even one drop of water. Suppose Durvasa Muni is coming, I saw Durvasa Muni, but still drink water, finished. So that happened. Ambarish Maharaj, we heard already story. So Ambarish Maharaj broke his fasting just by taking one drop of water. Because of that, Durvasa Muni is not happy. Or this is not the way of treating guests. So he was very angry also. So now coming back here, so because Kunti has served so nicely, and obviously Durasa Muni is pleased, and he gave her a special mantra. What is the mantra? Through that mantra you can invoke any demigod, anyone you like, and they can help produce you a beget child. So now that mantra is given, so she is a princess in that kingdom, so not yet married. Before marriage, she thought, let me see whether this mantra will work or not. They're very curious. You give something generally to anybody, but if you give especially to ladies, women, so they can't hold on to that. Very curious. They want to experiment and test. So she thought, okay, let me test whether this Durasa Muni mantra has any potent. So she said that mantra and requested Suryadev to appear. Suryadev appeared. He said, now that invited, we can't revert back. So through their union born Karna. And we know that because she was not married, she was worried what will happen. So immediately she just dropped put baby into one basket, like this, put into the water, float and go away. So that was Karna. Okay, that is the big story. Then coming back here, so Pandu knew. So therefore Pandu requested, okay, why don't you, invoke your mantra. So he says, so therefore that means the Pandu himself is recommending the husband, you are now welcome, please. We are in the situation where we can't produce. We need our successors. So you can. So therefore on his request, she did that. So therefore they had 3 sons. How did they beget? So this one throw demigod, one throw Dharmaraja. So this Yamaraj. So Kunti chanted the mantra and to get Yamaraj to beget a son. So between this Yamaraj, Yama and Kunti born Yadhishthira. He's also called Yamaraj, Dharmaraj, that's why we call him. Then through demigod controlling the wind, there is Vayudev, Anila. Anila means wind. So who is the Anila controller? Vayudev. So through that Vayudev union, Bhima is born. And then by the demigod controlling the rain, who is the controller of rain? Indradev. Why did Krishna has to lift this Govardhan hill like this in just one finger? He was able to put, I can't even balance this. At least I have to put 3-4 fingers. So he is able to do that. Imagine this is a Govardhan hill. So it will become imbalanced. But Krishna can balance it. He is the controller of all the gravity. Gravity is the energy of Krishna. And he can control whatever we want. But whereas I can't control anything. I can't control even my own finger. So anyway, so there is Krishna. So that's why we are not Krishna. We are little Krishna. So now through rain god, that is Indradev, born Arjuna. So that is how these 3, Yadhishthira, Bhima and Arjuna are born. Of course, we also know Hanuman. Hanuman is also Vayuputra. He is also born to Vayudev. So that is why some is called Bhima and Hanuman are the brothers, born for the same father. So biological, but here legal father is Pandu. That's why we call them the Pandu Putras, Pandavas. So then coming to Madri's second wife, obviously second wife also want to have some children now that Kunti has, but the situation is that this Pandu is cursed, so then what to do? But she doesn't have mantra from anybody else. So therefore Kunti is very kind. She doesn't want Madri to feel childless. Correct? Usually if you have one woman, if you have 2 wives, one wife has children, otherwise they will be frustrated. So to avoid their frustration, she told her, this is a mantra. She actually chanted in her ear. At one shot, she wanted 2 children. So immediately Ashwini Kumara's twins came, and through their union, so we have 2, Nakula and Sahadeva. So Nakula, Sahadeva are born. So then he says, so that is how they were born. So next came the next line in the same verse. It talks about the 5 brothers headed by Dista beget 5 sons through the womb of Drupadi. And of course you all know about Drupadi. So Drupadi is also Shiva Bhakti. In her previous life, she also did lot of austerity. She wanted also a husband. And what kind of husband? So, husband who are, she says, Lord Shiva, I am your Shiva Bhakta. She says, ask a boon. He says, okay, I want a husband who is very righteous. Shiva says, Tatastu. Then she said, I want a husband who is very strong. Shiva said, Tatastu. And she said, I want a husband who is very perfect in archery skills. Shiva said, Tatastu. Then she said, I want a husband who is very handsome also. Not only very strong, powerful, and everyone, even man also wants a beautiful woman as a wife, and a girl also wants a beautiful person. So she says, I want handsome husband. Okay, Tatastu. And she says, not only handsome, I want a husband who is very intelligent, wisdom. She says, Tatastu. She didn't ask all of them at once. She says, she told one, Shiva says, Tatastu. She said another, Tatastu. So that means now to get this, he has to get 5 husbands. The Drupadi. So that was previous life. In the next life, as we know, her father, Drupada, conducted a yajna. So why? So he wanted to beget a son who can kill his enemy. So anyway, so through that yajna came Drupadi and Dusudama. So this Drupadi, now Drupadi grown up, then they organized a Swayamvara. Usually princesses again Swayamvara. In Swayamvara so many people came, Duryodhana went, Karna went, everybody went. So they put a context that, you can see like this, through this glass like water, you see there from this water, you take your arrow, hit some bird over there, bird or some insect. Now imagine there is some cockroach. Why not cockroach? What are those in Australia? We got spiders, very strong spider, very big. In Australia we got big spider. Like in India we see very small spider, but here very big. They can, hold your leg or like very strongly. You can't remove it all. Anyway, spider is there. There is a spider. Nobody is ready to go up. Now you are given a contest. Okay, all right. So you will get a special Mahaprasada if you can hit that spider. So, but condition is you see the spider from this water. Imagine you see like this and hit. Who can do? Many failed. Only Karna can do and Arjuna can do. Karna tried. Karna is about to do it. At that time, Drupadi objected. Oh, Sudra Putra. I can't marry Sudra. You should be Kshatriya. Anyway, so Karna just thrown his arrow, then went away. Then Arjuna came and successful. So they won. At that time, they were also in the forest. These Pandavas escaped from the troubles of Kaurava. They were in forest. So this Arjuna became successful. Now he took Drupadi back to the cottage where Mother Kunti was. He said, Mother, we bought alms. Just like Mother, we went to the village and we begged, we got some mango like the alms. Out of funny, just to tell her in a joking way. But they brought Drupadi. Drupadi, you see, these are Vanavasas. They didn't have anything. So she just came. Then Kunti didn't know. So they are just saying that we brought maybe mango or something. Oh, why don't you all of you divide equally and enjoy? She didn't know. So now Kunti said that because Kunti was inside the kutira performing cooking and these are outside. Oh, Mother, we brought alms. Means some the thing that we need for cooking, just like that jokingly. So she said, okay, all of you say together. So because of that, these are very, these are like Veda Vakya. Whatever Mother says, they will 100% follow, Pandavas. So they end up having Drupadi as a co-wife of all the 5 Pandavas. And from them born 5 children through the womb of Drupadi. And then he says, these 5 sons were your uncles. Who is saying this? Sukadeva Goswami is saying. Sukadeva is saying that to Parikshit Maharaj, oh Parikshit Maharaj, these 5 are your uncles. And that was the verse 28. So, and then obviously this all this pastime that we see, we didn't discuss that much, but you can see the Pandavas' qualities were divine qualities, as per the wish of Draupadi. She got all those 5 husbands with divine qualities. So Yudhishthira is the most righteous person. That's why called Dharmaraj. So always, even at his own caste, he is happy to uphold the principles of righteousness. We see in the Kurukshetra war, so they were not able to defeat Dronacharya. Dronacharya is a very powerful warrior. And unless we kill Dronacharya, the war can't stop. So therefore, Krishna thought, what to do about this? Krishna can't fight directly himself. He said, I am not going to. And then none of these fellows, Pandavas, can kill him. What to do? He said, we have to devise some plan. What is the plan? He said, we just tell them that Aswathama is right. At that time, this Dronacharya will go into meditation, sit down like this. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate, like that he will be meditating. At that time, we can send this Drusudama, son of the brother of Draupadi. He will behead him. But now who is going to tell? So Dronacharya is not going to believe anybody except Yudhishthira. So they told Yudhishthira, can you please? He said, no, I can't do it. But they told, no, you just don't say. You say, Aswathama elephant died. He said, Aswathama elephant died. Like this. That the person heard only Aswathama, right? Aswathama elephant died. So yeah, Aswathama, they said very slowly. So anyway, so even that he considered a sin to say wrong like this. But anyway, so that is Yudhishthira. Then Bhima is a very strong person. How strong he was? He was, as powerful as something like 10 elephants. Elephant, how strong they are? So 10 elephants. He can simply smash hundreds of people. So that was Bhima. So as far as wish. Then Arjuna, she wanted a supreme archer. Arjuna is the best known as the best archer. So he is superior. Then she also wanted a person who is very beautiful. That is, Nakula is the most beautiful among them. Then she also wanted a person who is not a dumb but highly talented wisdom. That is Sahadev. So Sahadev is known to be very talented, very knowledgeable in various Vedic things, including astrology. He can also tell the future. Who can tell that? So, and of course, all of them are divine qualities. So that is why they are able to successful in Kurukshetra war. And they were also God-fearing or God-loving. Either you should have a fear of a God or love of God. So some surrender to Krishna out of love. Some surrender to Krishna a little bit out of fear. At least one of them should be there. So anyway, they are not out of fear, they are out of love. So that is why they are successful. And in the Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Krishna in the last verse. He says, Yatra Yogesa Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanudhara, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhuti Nitir Matirmam, Niti. Wherever Krishna and Krishna devotees are like Arjuna or Yudhishthira, there will all be Niti. And there will also be success, victory, Vijayo. And there will be Bhuti, opulent, unlimited opulent. And that is what they achieved. Now this Kauravas, the sons of Dhritarashtra, it seems when they were born, at that time when the Duryodhana was born, at that time they all heard various animals, making noisy sound, indicating unauspiciousness. At that time they thought, Vidura said, oh, why don't we just sacrifice this throwaway, this Duryodhana into the forest. Some animals can eat and finish, because he may become problem to this dynasty in the future. But they didn't agree. Obviously Dhritarashtra didn't agree. Dhritarashtra's son, father didn't agree. So continue, you can see. So they became too much envious of their own brothers born to Pandu, Pandu's sons. And because of enviousness, they did so many things to kill them. So that was the demonic qualities. So this is pride, arrogance. On the other hand, Pandavas were not like that. Once this Kauravas went to a forest and then trying to fight with Gandharvas. At that time, Gandharvas actually defeated everyone, captured Duryodhana. They even defeated Karna also. Even the Karna has to run away to save his life. At that time, Yudhishthira told Bhima and Arjun, go and help save them. They went and fought with Gandharvas, then defeated them and they released Duryodhana. Duryodhana not happy. Duryodhana thinking, it is better to die than get released from through enemies. So anyway, so that only so that the divine qualities of Yudhishthira, even though they were put into so many trouble, but Yudhishthira didn't keep that grudge. Even the forest, he said, okay, he's still my brother only. So he still considered brother, then requested the release. So these qualities, divine qualities are very important. So finally to conclude, so this Mahabharata, teaches us many lessons. So of course you see a lot of conflict there. We didn't discuss about that, but we discussed more about the divine, appearance of the sons of Pandu and sons of Dhritarashtra. But sons of Pandu, who were the father? Were all these demigods with good quality. Indra, Vayudev, then obviously Ashwini Kumaras. So then who are Yamaraj also? Yamaraj is also Bhakta of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. So they all are devotees. So they are the sons born to devotees. Then of course the Kunti, good quality, Pandu also good quality. So that happened. Then obviously after birth of these Pandavas, Kunti took them back to the palace. Then what about Madri? Madri, what happened? Actually this Pandu knew, that Pandu although cursed, but once he somehow got too much attracted to Madri. Because at that time Kunti and the sons, they went to play somewhere else. At that time only these two were there. He got attracted. Madri told him, you are cursed, please don't come near me. But still he went and united with her, and the curse worked. Curse worked and he died. Then of course at that time they burned the body, they burned. And Madri was thinking, what do I do? Out of repentance, maybe I should do sati. Means you also enter into fire along with the dead body of his husband. So that is how she gave up and requested Kunti, please take care of my sons, Nakula and Sahadev. So all these 5 Pandavas, he went back to palace, and then of course they learned archery under the guidance of Vraja-ra. That's a separate story. But anyway, we can say to conclude, so these all demonstrate importance of living truthfully, and then how the kings like Pandu, when they were cursed, they accepted it and then they tried to rectify. Then of course if you do a seva of Mahatmas, Lord Shiva, Lord Krishna, or even Durvasamani, and you can see all this Gandhari begot 100 sons, even though it was not possible. Then Kunti begot 6 sons, 5 of them with Pandu, just by invoking a mantra that Durvasamani is given, because she pleased him. Then similarly, even Draupadi also produced 5 sons, that's what it says. And she had a 5 husbands. And of course, this is very tricky. Did all those 5 born at the same time? No. So the boy, so they had a very good agreement. Otherwise, Marda Muni told them, now that you all 5 of you got one wife, if you're not careful, there will be quarrel between you. Then, finished. So he told one story. Therefore, please follow some rules, regulations, follow properly. So they had an agreement that one person spends maximum 2 years with Draupadi. Then after that, next person. Very strict agreement. So that is how she was able to beget one sons from each of these Pandavas. Then also one daughter also. Okay, so that was told here. But more about what is the name of those sons, what is their quality. the next followers will discuss. That is tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Any question? No problem. Ganatara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai.